Alright guys, welcome back to the Old Glory Red Report. Today we are going to be talking about that Portland game at the weekend with some controversial calls. We'll go into that. We're not going to talk about that at all. I do want to talk about the rest of the Western Conference. Things haven't shaped up as quite what we thought they would from our first couple of videos, so we'll talk about that, touch on that just a little bit. We'll talk about Elliott and the job he's done so far this season. Moving on in this video, right after this.
Let's go!
Thanks for joining us here at the Old Glory Red Report, supporter channel for the supporters by the supporters. We got Mark Anthony back with us, Jonathan Glatt's in the middle there. I'm KCJ. Thanks for watching. Let's jump into this Portland game, and the first controversial call is where I think we should start with the handball in the box on Gomez. Are we thinking this is a handball, clear cut? What do you guys think?
I think so. Like we talked about in the reaction video right after the match, I just think it's a call that if it was the other way around, if a Wassa shot it and it hit their defender, we would be up in arms. So I look at it from that perspective, so I think it was the right call.
Yeah, I mean, his arm moves away from his body a little bit. Does look like his arm goes to the ball. I have watched it over and over again in the replays. I would be upset if it went against us, if it was the opposite way around, like you said. So I see it being called, but I think it's still kind of light. There's not much he can do in that situation. John?
My comment's not actually going to address whether I think it is or not. I'm just going to say I wonder what the impact of VAR would have on this league and calls like that. Because we can speculate all we want. That, the replays may show that it was unintentional or that his arm was naturally moving that way or was soft. But do you think that VAR would be beneficial? And that's kind of where my thought dwells on that. Right now, I can give the refs crap all I want, especially for calls like that.
And we do.
But, to me, that's also part of the drama of the sport.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to have a certain level of drama and intrigue, even when refs make bad calls.
That's the Game of Thrones is for, John.
Yeah.
I don't watch Game of Thrones I don't not watch Game of Thrones. I haven't watched it since season 3.
You got a lot of catching up to do, John. A lot of catching up.
I've read the books.
Oh, okay. I would like to see VAR in the league. I'm not going to lie, but there's teams that can't afford it. It's not going to probably happen for years until these teams get up to pace and can afford to do it. I mean, look, there's teams in the second leagues of England and other that can't afford to do it themselves. So it's something that's probably not viable in this league, but I do understand what you're saying on that. The next big call was the flop for Bijev in the box. People will say he got pushed down. It's hard to tell by the replays that we get. I don't think it's enough to call it a dive and get the yellow card, but the ref obviously sees something in it. I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's clear dive. I mean, I see what he's doing there. He's trying to draw the contact, and the contact doesn't come. He goes down real hard for such minimal contact. So, in my opinion, the ref got that one right, even though it sucks. I was actually surprised because that was a tough call for the ref, but we saw the replay even in slow-mo, and that's a play that even a VAR decision, I think, would have given the yellow card to the attacking player, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a tough call for the ref in that situation. Does he overact? And it's the old saying that if you don't give the penalty for the player, then you have to give him the yellow card for simulation. And I think that's really what came into play here is I think there wasn't enough for him to give the penalty, but the overreaction with Bijev is what makes the ref give the card. Again, I think it's maybe a soft call that maybe another ref doesn't give, but unfortunately we got it. And it was a lack of focus on Bijev on that one. He was trying to get the call, and it just wasn't there.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think maybe our players might be getting a little too expectant of those calls to be happening. We've had 4 of our goals from PKs. And so I think there might be some either conscious or subconscious level of, okay, if I go down on the box, we're going to get a PK.
Yeah.
And maybe that's, and it's worked. It's won us games. But
to be fair, I think it's just a player who's out of form and not really confident right now. And I think that if he was at a different point of the season where he was scoring goals or contributing a little bit more to the attack, he probably doesn't look for that foul. He just goes and takes a shot.
Tries to turn the player or something in that situation.
I feel like it's just one of those plays where the player's kind of searching, right? Like, maybe he did feel a little contact, but he was just like waiting to be bailed out, kind of.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion on that.
So BJ's second penalty, I'm going to say 100% he gets the ball. We were there that night, and I think everyone in the room agrees he gets the ball. But after watching it, it's that second leg. It's that right leg coming in after the challenge that kind of scissors the player. Me and you talked about this in the post-match reaction a little bit. That's what he gets the second yellow for. And I know there's going to be some people that hate me for this, but that is a yellow card. That leg needs to be controlled.
Well, and didn't USL today, I think they overturned that call, didn't they? Or did they overturn the first one?
I am not sure.
BJ is not suspended for the next match anymore.
I did not hear this. So this is breaking news to me.
Breaking news. You heard it here first.
Except if you're on Twitter. The USL overturned one of his, I think it was that one, one of his fouls. So he no longer has the red card. Harris still has the red card. Bijev does not.
And I can see that because I even talked about it. The first challenge is clean. He gets the ball 100% on his initial challenge. What the ref saw was that following leg come in that scissor motion on the back of the attacker's legs. That's where he gets the yellow card from. So I can see them overturning that because in my mind, it's like we talked about some of the other calls. That could have gone either way. A different ref on a different day doesn't give that and calls that a clean challenge.
Yeah, my opinion is a couple things here. One, whether or not they overturned it, it still probably cost us one game.
It did.
Cost us 3 points.
100%.
Because after that moment, the game completely changed.
You're down to 10 minutes, a whole new game.
Down to 10 men. And then, secondly, it was a challenge that he doesn't make on a yellow card. You just don't make that challenge on a yellow card. And you have to have more situational awareness. If he didn't have a yellow card, of course you play aggressive. But you have to know that if you go in like that, and yes, it was wet, but that's the risk you take. When you leave your feet on a yellow card, you know that if you miss the ball, you know that if your second leg comes through or anything weird happens, you also know there's no VAR. So it cannot change what's going to happen. And you know as a kid when you're playing soccer growing up, hey, when you're on a yellow card, you just have to be a little bit more careful. And the sad thing is, he was only in the game for like 10 minutes and he got 2 yellow cards. I mean, that's just pretty brutal.
That's crazy.
It's a loss of concentration, too. I touched on it a little bit. It's going into a challenge when you don't need to necessarily as well. Like, yeah, he does get the ball, and like we talked about, if it gets overturned, that's great. But he doesn't need to make that challenge. We have center backs. We have a strong back line that's going to cover that position. Losing him hurts the game worse than if he lets that challenge go and we have to deal with somebody attacking our back line real quick. So for me, regardless if it gets overturned or not, it's still a bad decision from Bijev, who has not been good for us this season so far. Maybe a little frustration from the guys after that Tacoma game and the end results that haven't gone their way as well. I think that's the same thing we saw with Harris on both of his challenges. Both of his challenges for me are cards, and it's just frustration in my opinion. He came into the game late, and he wanted to get a victory out of this. He wanted to get points. He was aggressive, and it did not pay off in this instance.
Yeah, it's just funny that you get 2 players sent off in a game. That's already odd. And they're both substitutes that come on. And both get double yellow cards in a span of 10 to 15 minutes for each player. It's just, it's humorous, I think. It's just one of those games. I don't think we're going to have another game this year where
you guys get sent off.
Yeah, those oddities all happen in the same game, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I don't know. I guess it's good you just get them all out in one game, right?
Hopefully.
We now lead the league for red cards, by the way.
Yes!
We went from 0 to 2.
Top of the league, you guys.
There's a stat for you right there. So, let's just go into the overall feel of the game. I think that we had some good moments in a game that maybe didn't go our way. I think we saw some bright spots from players. I think the mentality, except for the few players that did get the cards, was pretty good moving forward, especially after a couple tough results like we talked about. Overall, John, what do you think? What do you think of the mentality of this game?
I think it was good. I think, we came off the right foot. Within the first, 10, 15 minutes, we had a couple chances. Which normally takes us a little longer to get going than that. So it's good that we're getting going earlier than what last couple seasons, we're used to seeing most of our goals the last 2 seasons have come from the second half. So it's good to get off on the right foot, start attacking right away, have chances right away. I think it was Cameron Awas who had a really close miss in the first 10 minutes. Which, obviously if he had scored that, would have been a whole other game.
Yeah.
But we're getting those chances now earlier and earlier, and I think it's really important to keep doing that. Keep getting those chances, keep forcing the opposition to adjust to that.
Yeah, I think the mentality coming in, like you said, especially from last season when we didn't start out very well, we were taking 20, 30 minutes to get into games. We're doing a lot better on that, at least this season, so I am really encouraged by seeing that. Mark, what was your take on this game, man?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we started well. Obviously, the penalty in the 29th minute changes the game a little bit. But even still, when we went behind, I thought we were the better team up until the red card. And then even playing with 10 men, I thought it was pretty even. I wouldn't say we created too many clear-cut chances, but I thought we were definitely in the game. I don't think that you could really tell we were reduced to 10 men.
We had 2 shots on target, and Portland, out of all their shots, only actually had 1. So they actually had 16 attempts to our 8, but we had 2 on, and they had 1 on. So
yeah, no, absolutely. We didn't create enough, even when we had 11 men. But I thought the team was playing a good game until the red card, and then things started to unravel.
I was particularly impressed going up the left-hand side with Warner and McCrary. I thought they did a lot to create chances on that side, more than our right side with Blackwood and Gomez going up that side. McCrary was getting up, playing the ball in. I think Warner is one of our best players right now. I think the best opportunities we came from that side. Do you think that was a key for us? Do you think we were trying to play that side?
Yeah, I mean, Warner's been our best winger by far through the first 6 games. I mean, it's not even arguable. And I'll dive into some stats when we get down the road, but that left side, like you said, we talked about during the game, it was dynamic. Yeah. Warner, McCrary provides an option on that side of the field that Gomez doesn't really. Gomez is more of a defensive-minded.
And he does a good job of that.
Yeah, very good. But Gomez doesn't give you much at all going forward. Where McCrary, we saw that he has some ability to get up the flank. Yeah. And him and Warner, they can knock into each other. They can play little triangle passes in that area. So it is something that will be a key for us going forward. I really like what I saw from them.
Yeah, they had some great overlapping runs too, where McCrary would go past Warner and the vice versa, they would feed that ball.
Yeah, I was going to say, as McCrary gets more comfortable in our system with our players, I'm really excited to see him. I think he's going to be probably one of our top players this season in chances created, key passes, good stops, all of it. I think he's going to be one of our leaders. I think he and probably Deckel Kanan are going to be 2 of the most important players to us this season.
All right, we'll talk a little bit more about our players coming up when we talk about Elliott and the coaching style, but let's just move into man of the match. Now, this is a tough one. When we lose, it's hard to really think of the man of the match. Sometimes players didn't stand out, but Mark, who do you think was your standout player in this game? Someone that you want to see in the lineup for sure going forward?
I definitely think it was Sam Warner.
Yeah?
Yeah, I thought he had a couple 1v1s where he beat his man to the line, got a cross in. I just thought that he was our most dynamic player against Portland. So
yeah.
He's my man of the match.
John?
I don't know that I can say I have a man of the match.
You and your roundabout answers, John. Always with your roundabout answers.
Hey, I come from politics.
That's I can tell that. I can tell.
I'm supposed to lie then, right?
You want me to lie?
Yes.
No, I will not lie. I'm still too frustrated to say anybody had a good enough game to be man of the match.
Yeah, I can understand that. I'm going to go with Mark with Warner. I think he was terrific. He's been our standout player in a lot of games. Now, I think maybe he wasn't at his most creative against Portland. It might not have been his best performance so far for us. He's had better performances early on. But in this particular game, I think most of the creative spark we had was to Warner. So I'm definitely going to give him my man of the match. Tell us what you think. If you had a different man of the match, put that in the comments below. If you're watching this on the YouTube channel, if you're on any of the podcasts, jump over to Facebook, put your comments there. We'd love to hear who you thought was the man of the match, maybe what you thought about the starting 11, some of the calls. Let us know. We'd love to have a conversation with you about it. All right, so the Western Conference really hasn't boiled up to what we thought it would be, especially after that first video. We kind of predicted this. New Portland Timbers are up at the top of the table. New Mexico is also up there. Sacramento sitting in third. Tulsa, LA Galaxy, Fresno, and Reno make the top 7, and Orange County only sitting in 8. I think we thought there'd be a few teams doing better. Phoenix, Orange County, we thought would be a lot higher up in the standings. I did predict New Mexico would be a good team, and they are up there. Just want to point that out. Yeah, New Mexico, good job. They're following that format that Sacramento did. Also, FC Cincinnati. They have great attendance to their games. They brought in a good lineup with some good players, some international talent, some talent with experience. I think they're doing really well. So that might not be the surprise to me, but a lot of other people might have been surprised by that one. We'll jump over to Mark, because I know, Mark, you love watching these games and you stick up with it. So what is the big surprise from this season? What is the big surprise from that top 8?
Yeah, so going into the season, Orange County, so when Phoenix, Orange County, and Sacramento were the 3 with the best odds to win the Western Conference, according to Vegas. Phoenix is having a hell of a time to start the season. It's still very early, but they are losing currently 1-0 to Austin.
Are they still unbeaten?
Who?
Phoenix.
Winless?
What? Unbeaten, winless?
No, they've won one.
They won one? Okay.
Yeah.
They've won 1 game, yeah, and they look like after tonight they'll have 1 win through 6 games. So I don't know, man. They're struggling, and yes, it's early, but 6 games, like that's a good sample size.
You got to
right?
kick it into gear eventually.
Yeah, OC, I haven't been impressed with them. I've seen a couple of their games. They look like they're missing an Evoldson, and they are.
Who was big for them last season?
He scored a lot of their goals. He was their best player for a number of years, so he's not there. But yeah, Timbers, I kind of expected that. They're always a good team, man. They have a great academy in Portland.
Yeah.
They really do. Even through the youth ranks, they're one of the more respected MLS clubs when it comes to developing.
On the two teams, they're definitely one that you kind of expect to be up in the rankings a little bit more.
Yeah, Galaxy 2 playing pretty well.
I didn't see that one coming at all.
No, I thought that was down near the bottom.
All right.
We do have a long season. One thing I do want to point out is historically we've seen stuff like this happen. Especially Reno starts out winless for the first 6-7 games and then they go on a tear.
They're very similar to that this season that they did that last season as well.
Yeah,
so
I would expect huge upturns and huge downturns. We've still got a long season. I'm hoping that we'll kick it into gear. Technically, we're still in third, but given our record, if we keep playing the way we're playing, we're going to drop down even further. But, I expect to see Orange County start kicking it into gear. I expect Reno start kicking it into gear. Those are 2 teams that I think are a little underwhelming, but again, they both have started like this before. We've had a lot of starts, false starts, if you will. And I think we'll see that change.
I think a team to look out for, Las Vegas. I know that might be surprising.
they're working their way back up the table.
Yeah, and they're sitting in 10th right now. But I look at their goals. They have 7 goals scored, 9 against. But they have the most shots taken and the most shots on target of any team in the USL. That's going to translate to goals. Maybe they're not the most efficient team. I mean, obviously not. But if they keep out shooting their opponents night in, night out, they're just going to win games. Plus, being in Vegas in these hot months, they might be able to wear some teams out. I know it sounds crazy because they're usually a joke of this league, a laughing stock.
Usually, consistently.
In the top 10, maybe making a playoff push for sure.
Yeah, and they have been working their way up the table. Maybe that Wijnaldum effect is finally kicking in. Maybe it's the bubble parties. Maybe it's the llamas. Who knows what works over there in Vegas?
Cash drops.
Yeah, it's something. One of those mini gimmicks probably kicked in. But yeah, I agree.
Man, I respect it.
They definitely are working their way up the table. I think Phoenix is one of the biggest talking points because we all expected them to be doing much better. And at this point, like you said, we have enough sample group to say that they should probably be higher up in the table. The lack of Drogba being over there now, there doesn't seem the same creativity they had last season. That's a team for me that really I thought was going to do better, but now I see maybe they have a little mediocrity in them this season.
and I may be recalling wrong, but I feel like earlier in the season when we talked about it, I said not having Drogba is going to impact them really horribly. I need to go back and watch the videos, but that's what I feel like I said, so it's right.
So, speaking of Phoenix, their next opponent is Sounders 2, so they should have a win there.
Unless they go Sounders Junior on you all of a sudden.
But then they play Republic and Orange County back to back. So
that'll be 2 tough games for them.
If they don't win against S2, they might not win for a while. So
they're going to need to either get their shit together, or they're going to need to just accept their mediocrity.
We saw the rise and fall of OKC Energy. They had a good run for the first few games. They have slowly seen themselves drop all the way down to 14th in the league currently.
Above Phoenix.
So they're still above Phoenix. Good on them. So that was a team that we kind of saw have an insurgent urgent early in the season, kind of falling off. Tulsa's now starting to work the way down. Tulsa's a team that kind of surprised everybody, I think. They had a top goal scorer for the first few games, but now they're slowly slipping from that first place down to 4th. They have a few tough games coming up. You think that's a team that's going to last in the top, or is that a team that's going to probably drop away into 10th, 12th place mediocrity?
They haven't really had that tough of a schedule so far. I'll believe it if here in a month we're still talking about them in the top 4, top 5. But I think that'll be a team that slowly descends down the standings.
So Mark talked about Las Vegas being kind of that team that he expected to rise up a little bit more. John, is there a team that maybe you don't think is doing so well, like an OC that could be doing better? Or, Fresno's in 6th.
Fresno's undefeated.
Yeah, so is there a team maybe that you didn't expect that's doing a little better, or that you might think is going to rise up soon?
Well, I'm surprised by Fresno. I think that for their second season, they're doing pretty okay, better than they did last season. Like Mark said,
Republic South have to do good. Come on.
Exactly. I'm very surprised by the Monarchs.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to be one of the top teams this year. They're down in 9th, and I do expect to probably see a resurgence of the Austin Bolt. I thought they played really well when they played against us, and I'm surprised they're as far down as they are. And I think we'll see them move up a little bit.
Austin Bolt, I don't see them making the playoffs. I see them maybe sitting in a 10th place. When they came to us, they were really defensive. I thought they would do a little bit more. I don't think they've been well enough. They're going to need to attack games, and they're going to need to be more aggressive if they want to get up there. But they are a team that surprised me to be as high as they are right now, so I'll give them credit for that. My biggest surprise has got to be LA Galaxy 2. There's no way at the start of this season I would say that they are on the top of the table at this point. They were terrible last season, and they're infamously a feeder club that takes all the best talent away immediately. So to have the talent that they have right now, that's the surprise for me this season so far. Now, can they keep that up? I doubt it. I think they'll fall back down the table. I think they've had a run of a few good games, but I think it's still way too early for them to finish as high as they are. They might hope to get a playoff spot, but probably not. Anything else you guys want to add to the Western Conference? I think we talked about everything else. We don't really follow the Eastern Conference very well. St. Louis is kicking ass over there. There's a few other good teams over there. Overall, I don't really follow the conference, so I don't have much to say on that. But as far as the Western Conference goes, it's getting a little topsy-turvy. Any last kind of topic you want to add onto this, either one of you?
I think, the conference is set up for us to make a run, but we're going to need to see an uptick in our form. The opportunity is there. Will Simon Elliott and the guys take advantage? It's yet to be known, but it is nice that even through a couple tough games lately, we're still right there at the top.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything?
One thing I have to add is about tactics, which I think we'll be talking about a little.
We are. We're going to move into Simon Elliott and the coaching and what we've seen so far, so we'll add that all into there. So overall, I think, third place is fair for us. We're happy with that. But let's move into, this is Elliott's first season with his squad, not something inherited. We've seen a lot of rotation this season. I'm not trying to start like Elliott out chance. I don't want that to be the subject of this. We're not putting that up as the headline. But let's just talk about where he is right now. I think not finding the proper starting 11 that's going to win us games has kind of hurt us with the rotation. And that's my opinion. but I think we need to find the solid four that we're going to play with. Because as a defense, you want a strong defense that works together game in and game out, and you want to pick four that are going to work. We haven't seen that. We haven't seen the center midfield, whether it's playing in the 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, we haven't seen a solid center midfield yet. Now, Skundrich and Sari have both been in there consistently for the most part, but it's been up and down. The top three, or in the 2-3-1, the top four, has been bounced around in these first 5 games. So is the inconsistency something? For me, I just think we need to find our best 11 that we're going to put in when we have to win games, and we haven't did that yet. But before I beat that to go, let's go over to Mark. What do you think of Elliott so far?
I think the defense is fine. I don't think we need to talk about it at all. We've given up 5 goals. That's 3rd in the conference. It's right at the top. We're giving up less than a goal a game. That's what you want to see. So the back 4, whether you want to see the same 4 or a mixture, it's working. So we don't need to dive into it. The other side of the coin is where it's not working. We have 8 goals in 6 games. That's 11th in the conference, 11th in the West. That's not good enough. 68 shots in 6 games. That's 13th in the conference. We're not creating enough opportunities. We're not putting enough shots on goal. We're not scoring. So when it comes down to it, we need to see a change, whether it's a change in philosophy, whether it's a change in tactics, whether it's a change in personnel. Something needs to change in the starting 11 in the attack.
Yeah.
The defense has been great. Harris, Tainer, Kynan, doesn't matter which 2 you have in the central defense. Gomez has been a rock like usual. McCrary's played well. But other than Awasa and Werner, Blackwood, well, yeah, I'm talking about the attack though. Blackwood, Bijev, Bonomo, one of you guys at least needs to step up. You've been terrible through the first 6 games, like absolutely horrible. It needs to be said, like they've been bad, and I'll let you guys speak your piece, but I'll dive into each one of those players individually, how poor they've been.
All right, just real quick though, do you put that on the players or do you put that on the coach? Is that the players not doing what the coach is telling them and the coach is putting them in good positions to do their job? Or is that Elliott not putting them in the right position? Just real quick. I mean we'll dive into it, but
it's a combination of the two. I mean, I hate, that's not a cop-out. I think it literally is. The responsibility rests on both shoulders, the coach and the individual player.
We'll circle back.
One of my concerns is that, you know, there is no stability. Players don't, other than, you know, the couple that we've mentioned that have started pretty much every game, players don't know if they're first team or not first team. We don't know if they're first team or not first team. There's been no stability. And I think that one of the big bonuses from last season...
Should there be stability, though?
Yes, I do think there should be stability.
But I think there should be stability. You should prove you're in the starting level.
There's got to be stability with rotation. So I think you need...
You've seen a lot of changes.
Blackwood has played 384 minutes. Bijev has played 233, but he was injured for 2 games. Werner's played 261. I feel like these players are playing. They're just not producing.
And that's a fair point.
My concern is I think there's too much rotation. We don't.
Some of that
practice is one thing,
right?
but game time is what's really important. And you're not going to, because in practice certain players are going to play certain ways, but you're not going to know how to respond to various events that happen throughout games. The unpredictability, the injuries, the cards, and the reason I'm very much proponent of stability is because, you know, all those things develop as a core of players play together. Yes, I'm okay with rotation, but I feel there's been maybe a little too much rotation, and I think we've got a lot of really good players, and maybe that's a bad thing because I don't know that the coach knows which ones he should utilize as first team players.
Well, and I think
I like Elliott a lot. I think he did a really good job last season, especially as his first season coming in late. I'm concerned about, you know, how we started, but I've also said it before earlier in this podcast / YouTube video that
whatever you're watching on, you know.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening, watching /
You've seen this uptick in form.
Yeah.
You've seen this, you know, turnaround. Again, I hate talking about Reno, but Reno for the past 2 seasons, right? they started off horrendously, giving up a lot of goals, not scoring a lot, losing games. They turn around and they come back raging and powerful. And I hate saying that, but it's the truth. And I still hold out hope that that's something we can do once our players find their element, once we get the stability, once we get the rock in which to build on.
Yeah. I kind of have an argument on both of your guys' side, and I can see you're both that side of the coin, and I'm kind of in the middle. Because I'm with John on, I would like to see a more consistent lineup. I think putting the same guys together, it builds chemistry, it builds the lineup, it builds that. But you also need the rotation, and you're looking for, in practice, those best guys. And maybe what the best guy this week wasn't the best guy last week, and you're going to put him in because he earned it in practice. So I can see both sides of that coin, and I kind of talked to Gabe. If you're watching this, shout out to Gabe, good guy there. Is it the coach's fault? Because we're creating chances. The lineups that he's putting out there are creating the chances to win games. And the defense, like Mark said, is done great, regardless if it's Tainter and Kynan, whether it's Harris and Kynan. I mean, anyone in Kynan pretty much has been terrific for us. Gomez is a great defender. McCrae's been good, so we're not worried about that. But is it the coach's fault that we're not seizing on those opportunities, or should we blame the players? And for me, you can change the lineup all you want, but if players aren't taking the opportunities that are coming to them, there's nothing the coach can do about that. We'll circle back to you, Mark, because I know you have something to say on this.
Yeah, absolutely, because yes, we want to see a starting 11, but these guys have to earn their spot. You're not just given.
No.
You're not going to be, look, Bija, Blackwood, and Bonomo all have 0 goals and 0 assists.
That's depth of squad. You want everyone to be
6 games, and 3 of your top 4 most minutes played of your attackers have not registered a goal nor a assist on the season. You look at a guy like Werner. He's played less minutes than Blackwood and Bonomo. He has a goal, assist, 7 key passes, 24 crosses, 4 shots on target. Bonomo has not registered a single shot on target in 6 games. No goals, no assists. He's your center forward.
He's our Christian Isley of this season.
Tyler Blackwood, no goals, no assists, 5 key passes, 11 crosses. That's not good enough. Bija, no goals, no assists, 1 key pass, 12 crosses, 4 shots on target in 233 minutes. Now, he has a little bit less minutes because he's been injured. It's just not good enough. I understand that the philosophy, and I don't really know what the tactics are, but our offense is too rigid, I think, in philosophy. Guys aren't really moving or interchanging. We don't see a lot of 1-2s being played between our top 4. But still, we're not creating enough, and those guys are not winning their one-on-ones. Blackwood and Bija need to be more dynamic. Bonomo has been great at winning the ball and holding up play, but where is he in the box? Where is he creating the separation so he can get on the end of a cross? We need to see more, and I think that you kind of have to tinker with the lineups. Like, you can't just roll out the same ineffective 3 out of 4 players every time.
So it sounds like you're on the side of the coach. The coach is doing his best to keep changing.
I think that there should be a change. The players, to me, they don't, I feel like they're, you ever play foosball?
Yeah.
They're like stuck. Like they're stuck in their position. There's no interchange. We don't see a Bonomo dropping into the midfield to pick up the ball to lay it off. We don't see a Bijev cutting across the back line.
So do you think Elliott needs to motivate those players?
Motivate.
Yeah, motivate those players more, or do you think that the players themselves just need to do more?
It's motivation. I just think that, look, this team plays really structured, and it's great defensively. As you can tell, we've given up 5 goals. That's fantastic. We were one of the best defending teams last year, too. Structure and communication and being strong is essential in your defense. But in the attack, you need creativity. You need, a little bit of individual one-on-one. But you also, I don't know if the players are afraid to, go 1v1 at someone. But it seems like our attack, our build-up play is all the same. It's Kynan and Tainter. Kynan and Tainter have the most passes of any player on the field. And that's not a good thing. When your center backs have more passes than your defensive midfielders.
And now you know.
It shouldn't be like that. Our attacks seem to be the same. We go wide, we go back. And then we play that cross ball to Bijev or Blackwood, who receives it, and then they try to wait for an outside back, but really nothing ever amounts to anything. We need to see more dynamicism in the attack. We need to see 1-2s play through the middle. There needs to be more.
And we were talking about it at the last watch party. We were over at Costanza's, TVB watch party Costanza's. If you haven't checked that out, go check that out. It's awesome. Blackwood needs to take people on more on one-on-one, and that's up to him as a player to see that and know that he can take that player on and not put the immediate ball across that maybe no one's there for. And that's individuals, and I put that down to the players. That's not the coach. The coach can do everything he can to get you in those positions, but you as a player, you have to make the right decisions in those positions. So I'm going to just sum it up. I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong. I think you agree that the coach is doing good on putting the right structure out there.
Defensively.
But maybe he's not encouraging or not has a strong enough plan going forward yet, and doesn't maybe know at the top end what we're supposed to be doing as a team.
I also don't know if Blackwood is a winger. He was more successful playing as a center forward last year for Swope.
And he's played weird people as wingers.
Really? Hord's been up there?
I think Horde is a good candidate for a winger. He's got great crosses.
I like him as a winger.
I like him back as more as a defender, or defensively. But, I mean, who else was it? He played a couple people last year as a winger that I was like, really? I'm trying to remember. I think he played Isley as a winger a couple times.
I don't remember that, but that could be.
I'm trying to remember exactly who. But there were a couple times even last season I was like, why are you playing them as a winger? They should be playing in the center.
Yeah.
And that's why I think Blackwood belongs in the center. I don't know.
So I'm also not sure if Bijev is in his best spot as a winger. When he first came to the Republic, when we got him in, he played right underneath Owasso, or he played right underneath our striker, whoever it was during that time. He was in the middle of the field. He was in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah.
Bijev and Blackwood haven't shown the ability like Werner has shown. Werner takes players on 1v1. He can get to the line. He can cut in those balls. He can draw a penalty. He can score a goal. He can get an assist. He's making things happen. He leads the team in crosses. Again, 24. Next highest is 11 on the team. But we're searching for if Bonomo is that guy, and maybe he's not. Maybe Blackwood is actually that guy playing that position. And maybe Bijev's not the other guy.
We saw Blackwood do it at Swope Park last season, where he played that lone striker up top, and he's had one of his most productive seasons doing that. So that's definitely something that we can see. We're going to try to wrap this video up. We're probably on the higher end of the minutes, so put your comments below as always, what you think about how Elliott's performed so far. And I don't want to start any Elliott out chant.
Elliott out.
Yeah, we're not trying to be that, but I just a thumbs up, thumbs medium, thumbs down of Elliott's performance real quick. Just snap decision, Mark.
Medium.
Medium?
Defensively has been great. Attacking, not good enough. So I mean, one I'd say an A-, the other one a D+.
So he's solid at B-, C+ somewhere?
I'll say he's right there in the middle.
All right.
I would actually agree. I don't think it's a time to start yelling at the coach yet. We're still young in the season. We're still third place in our conference.
But remember, it's been 6 games. We need to see more, though. Yes, it's early, but we have a good sample. And the results have been pretty consistent. We had one game where we scored 3 goals. The other ones, it was either 4 goals. And the other games was what? 0 or 1 goal?
1 goal.
If we don't turn it around by 10 to 12 games, then maybe I think we'll need to start considering
go out and get another attacking player. I know that sounds weird because before the season started, we were pretty excited about our attacking options.
Or either attacking or coach. I'm not sure which.
Preseason was good.
Right now, I'm happy with him. I know that's how soccer goes. You start for example, Chelsea. They started out great. 18 wins or not 18 wins? 18 games undefeated.
Oh, sorry.
And then they dropped in form. It also goes the other way. So I'm gonna wait and see. Right now I'm medium. I'm still happy with him from last season. And I have faith he can do well this season because this is the squad that he's built. So is it the squad that will accomplish his goals? We'll see.
Yeah, I'm going to give him the thumbs up. I'm still strongly on Team Elliott. I think he did well for us last season with the squad that might not have been his. I think we have the ability this season. We haven't seen it yet, and totally agree with Mark. We need to maybe see more up from top. If not, we need to get somebody else in that can play that center forward, center striker role. And Bonomo hasn't done it yet for us. Isley didn't do it for us last season. Maybe Blackwood's the guy to do that for us. We're not sure yet. I'm going to give him a thumbs up, though. I think he's done very well with the squads that are available to him. We haven't got the results this season yet, but we've also played some pretty strong competition in the original lineup. Look, Portland's a good team. When we played Tacoma, Seattle Junior, that was a very good lineup, and we almost got the points on those things. Well, we didn't even play that well. So I give him the credit where it is. It's too early to really say that we need to start thinking about another coach or anything like that, but I think he also needs to focus on changing the lineup to get more goals. Like, we need that decision. We need that creative spark. We need it to happen now. We can't wait 4 more games. We can't wait 3 more games. We got a bye this week, but we got Phoenix coming up. You know, these are teams that can take advantage of us if we don't get on the score sheet and put the pressure on. And I really need to see that from them.
When I look at the table and I see where we are, it looks too much like last year. We're at the top. We're in the top 3, the top 4, but we still have way too low goals scored. You know, we're doing great giving them up. We're only giving up a few, but we got to get up there. There's, like I said, there's so many more teams that have scored 11, 12, 13 goals. And if you think about it, if we had 11, 12, 13 goals, we have...
Party over there!
We have another 2 wins or so on the season if we score a couple more goals. I mean, we really do. We could be actually undefeated at this point if our attack was on point. So that's my only thing, is that maybe it is coaching, because last year we were very poor in scoring goals. Poor in scoring goals this year.
It's something to look out for. Like I said, we don't want to start that whole chat. We are running low on this video. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Mark, final thought, real quick, final thought.
I mean, we're still 3 wins, 2 losses, and a tie. That's pretty good. If you win half your games, you're doing well. So it's still been a pretty good start of the season.
John, quick thoughts.
Wassop, Blackwood, Bijev, top triangle. We'll get more goals.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving forward, it has to be better. I think overall the defense has been great. As a team, we've had some great performances, even when we don't get the results. I think we're still finished very high this season. Appreciate you guys watching this video. We really do. We're on Facebook at Old Glory Red Report. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Old Glory Red. If you're watching this on YouTube, thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, share it with your friends. We love that. If you're listening to the podcast, Beautiful Game Network, see us over there. We're on Twitter, or Twitcher, iStore, and all that shit, so you can see that Beautiful Game Network. Thanks for watching this video. Mark Anthony, Jonathan Glass, Casey J, we appreciate it. Until next time, peace.